After 6 straight games against ranked opponents, Florida State has moved to number 6 in the country. Riding one of the deepest benches in the nation, Leonard Hamilton's club has its eye on the ACC title and a possible top seed. Tonight they travel to Atlanta for a battle with Josh Pastner's surprising Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets in Game 1 of an ACC Hoops doubleheader. Beautiful night in Midtown Atlanta. We welcome you to midweek ACC College Hoops, where Florida State and Georgia Tech will settle in for their only meeting of the regular season. And the Noles are number 6 in the country at 18-2, and they meet a Georgia Tech team coming off a disappointing loss in Charlottesville on Saturday to Virginia. Great to be with Corey Alexander, Wes Durham. We welcome you to our coverage here tonight. No matter what Leonard Hamilton's team does the rest of the year, and expectations are high, they went 5-1 against one of the rugged stretches anybody's seen in college basketball this year.
But the great thing about it is they're not done yet. And when you think about Florida State, these 3 games on the road that they start with here at Georgia Tech will determine really how good they are, because they can't let off their foot off the pedal. It's important to still get quality wins, especially on the road.
A lot of talented rookies in the ACC, but none playing better right now than our Hardy's star to watch, the freshman Jonathan Isaac.
And Jonathan Isaac has continued to emerge as a force on the interior for Florida State. And more importantly, he's not even showing off half of what he's capable of yet. So this Florida State team, in my opinion, continues to get better as Jonathan Isaac does.
What about Josh Okogie, maybe the most unheralded rookie in the ACC, Corey?
But yet, maybe one of the most productive. When you think about what Josh Okogie has done, 26 points against North Carolina, 27 at NC State, both in wins, and he's been special. More ACC Rookie of the Weeks than any other freshman in the league.
We'll get started. Seminoles and Jackets from Midtown Atlanta. Only meeting of the regular season between the 2 schools is next.
ACC College Basketball is sponsored by Toyota, Let's Go Places, and The Works Pegasus, your workspace. Any place, find it at your local Lowe's.
Georgia Tech's won 6 of their last 7 ACC home games, and Corey, they go with a lineup tonight with Corey Hayward being put in the order. This is only the 2nd time all year, first time in ACC play with this lineup.
And Corey Hayward probably in there to actually try to take on Dwayne Bacon and slow him down in that starting lineup for Florida State.
How about your 4 keys to the ball game here tonight?
Well, Florida State is simply about they have to stay focused on the task at hand, and they made it through that grueling stretch that everyone talked about with the 6 games versus ranked teams. And so, therefore, now coming in, they can't allow this to be a trap game. And for Georgia Tech, they've got to get back in transition. Transition defense is important because Florida State, 1 through 4, off a rebound, they push the basketball. They're not waiting and looking for the point guard.
Terrence Mann and the Noles have lost 4 of their last 5 ACC road games. They're 1-1 on the road this year, losing at Chapel Hill. And, of course, Dwayne Bacon's game winner at Virginia.
And that's going to be the key for this Florida State team. When you're talking about having a special season, we've seen it in the past few years with Miami, with Virginia. When you have a really special team, you've got to go win on the road.
Isaac, the missed jumper. Okogie. And now Heath sets up the offense against Xavier Rattan-Mays. Heath. Little runner with the right hand. And an offensive rebound. Okogie a 3. And fouled on the play. Rattan-Mays picks up the personal, his first. Game's first foul on the junior from Ontario, Canada.
And a great start for Georgia Tech. An offensive rebound, and Okogie getting fouled on the 3-pointer well behind the line. An opportunity to put 3 points on the board early in the game from the free throw line. And for a scorer like Josh Okogie, you never really want him to establish a rhythm this early in the game.
Corey, we mentioned at the top, unheralded given the other rookies in the ACC. But what makes Okogie so effective here early in the season?
Well, first you look at his competitive fire. He's a guy that goes out and competes against anyone on the court, regardless of the name or how highly they were recruited coming out of high school. But with his size, ball skills, and ability to get to the rim, and then you throw in the fact that he's a pretty good 3-point shooter, now you got a tough cover in the ACC.
6'4" and a problem, right, because of his athleticism?
Absolutely. And again, he is in attack mode at all times.
Got 2 of the 3 free throws. Here is Mann racing in front court. Because of their depth, Florida State waits on nobody.
But you look at it, you got a 6'10" Jonathan Isaac running a screen and roll, with the mountain of a man and Michael Ojo was unable to finish on the inside.
Man, the rebound. Knowles another chance. Bacon a pull-up. And Isaac lost it to Lammers. Hayward. Stevens baseline. Bounce pass to the trailing Lammers, who draws the foul. And it's on Ojo. The 24-year-old Nigerian, Michael Ojo, his first and number 2 on Florida State, and Leonard Hamilton. Look of early concern for the veteran Seminole head coach. And here is Lammers, who is 89% at the line in conference play, third best.
And of course, as you say that, he misses, but Ben Lammers has improved in every aspect of the game. But when you look at what's happened in ACC play, because he's jumped to the top of most team scouting report because of the way he played in non-conference, you see the numbers down 9.6. When he came into conference play, he was averaging 16 points a game early in conference play. And since then, he's attracted so much attention. His numbers have come down a little bit. He continues to get it done on the glass and blocking shots.
First season for Josh Pastner here in Atlanta. 11 wins already, including 3 in league play. 178 now in 8 seasons as a head coach. And Lammers' first point on the next try after Isaac committed the lane violation. Jackets in front early. About a minute and a half gone in the opening frame of our ACC doubleheader tonight. Well, they switch defenses, Corey, seemingly every trip, don't they?
That's, you hear coaches say basically that Josh Pastner plays every type of zone available to you. But right there, you see Terrence Mann getting inside the zone, but covered up. The shot blocking from Georgia Tech, where they're third in the ACC, but they actually played. They did not have they only had 1 shot blocked against Virginia, and it's a team that's had double-digit shot blocks in multiple games this year.
Lammers strong on the basket, draws Ojo's second foul.
And Quentin Stevens, who had that 1 block coming in from behind, you could give him a half, and Ben Lammers a half, but Lammers on the other side of the floor doing a great job beating Michael Ojo off the dribble. And Ben Lammers is not the traditional back-to-the-basket center. He's a young man that can shoot the jump shot as well as put the ball on the floor, as we saw there, beating Ojo to the rim.
Michael Ojo's 2 fouls send him to the bench. Jarquez Smith from down in central Georgia at Haddock onto the floor for Florida State. 6-0 Georgia Tech early, and Isaac a 2-point pull-up.
You see Jonathan Isaac showing off that soft touch. And I talk to so many people about Jonathan Isaac, and I'm always saying we really haven't seen his best asset, which is his ability to shoot the basketball. And at 6'10",
Okogie's first basket. A little give and go with Lammers.
Honestly, when you look at Georgia Tech's offense, Wes, and I'll be the first one to tell you, when I saw them in shoot around for the first time running it, I was confused as to what Josh Pastner was trying to do until I saw them get it in the games and how difficult it is for teams to guard it.
Missed 3 and a foul. And it's on Jarquez Smith. It'll be his first, the 4th on Florida State here in the first 2 minutes and 40 seconds, Corey.
Well, and Georgia Tech has definitely come out with much more energy. And we've seen what they're capable of here on their home court, knocking off North Carolina to start open up the ACC season. And I'm sure they got Florida State's attention, but yet Georgia Tech has definitely had more energy than the Seminoles to start this game.
Heath working against Rattan Mays. Hayward more of a defensive guy than he is a scorer, at least at the offensive end of the floor. Pass to Lammers from Okogie. Ben Lammers has got 6. Okogie's got 5. Or 4 rather, and Georgia Tech's got 10 and leads Florida State by 8. Smith tried to back down Lammers, knocked away by Heath. They roll to the deck, and Okogie scrambled for it underneath with Jarquez Smith and a held ball that will go to Georgia Tech.
And we've talked about Josh Okogie and his abilities. You see Ben Lammers get up to set the screen. Okogie comes off the screen, and as he tracks so much attention because of his ability to score, the beautiful pocket pass right inside to Lammers, who's had success against this large front line of the Seminoles early in this game.
Phil Kofer's come on the floor for the first time now for Florida State, and a little backcourt pressure offered by Leonard Hamilton's team. Heath for Okogie. Feeds Lammers to the basket and got the roll. The Laminator has got 8 of Georgia Tech's first 12. That's all Charles Mitchell, by the way, the former Jacket. Tagged Lammers with like 5 nicknames. And a hand check foul on Lammers against Jarquez Smith.
And that's one area where Lammers has to stay away from foul trouble. He's so valuable to this Georgia Tech team. And even more so on the defensive end, although offensively, he's been great to start this game off.
Here comes Abdullah Gay, A.D. Gay, a redshirt sophomore from Senegal at 6'9", checks in. And I think Josh Pastner's thinking along the lines you just mentioned, keep his big man out of foul trouble here.
Absolutely, especially on the defensive end. You've got the media timeout coming. You don't want to allow Lammers to stay in that position to pick up another one.
Crashing the glass was Okogie and draws the foul from Terrence Mann. Florida State now 5, and that's number 1 on the sophomore Mann.
But in all honesty, Wes, if there's one team in the ACC and in the country that foul trouble really does not affect, it's Florida State, because they play 12 players on a consistent basis. You don't want anyone to be in foul trouble, but yet you have a backup and a backup to that backup.
Yep. Hayward front court against Mann. Gay at the head of the circle. Heath going to work. Shot clock at 10 for the Jackets. Heath, Okogie a 3. Rattled out. Smith and Mann collect the rebound for Florida State. Georgia Tech by 10 early in Atlanta. Bacon a pull-up 2. And another foul on Mann. That'll be his second. 6 on Florida State.
And it's been all Georgia Tech early. Josh Pastner has to be pleased with his team, and especially his big man. Ben Lammers finishes as Georgia Tech holds a 10-point lead. After 3 straight road games, no one is happier to be home than Ben Lammers, as he's had success early against the front line of Florida State, attacking the rim, finishing off of beautiful feeds from his teammates, and continues to be aggressive at the basket, showing off his shooting touch, as Ben Lammers has gotten off to a great start here today, Wes.
Well, no question, Lammers has got 8 of Georgia Tech's first 12. And that's more than he scored on Saturday at Virginia, where he really had to fight. It was 3 of 12 from the floor, finished with 7 points. Matt Farrell, John Collins, Ben Lammers, you can't go wrong either way, can you?
You cannot, and you think about these guys and what they've been able to do from last year to this year. Matt Farrell, the point guard of Notre Dame, and the success they've had. But when people talk about the surprise start for Georgia Tech, you have to mention the production from Ben Lammers and what he's been able to do on both ends of the floor, 3rd in the ACC in rebounding and block shots. And you've seen here early in his game what he's able to do on the offensive end of the floor.
Trent Forrest out on the floor defensively now for Florida State. Heath a crossover. Back for Lammers at 16 feet. And Stevens kept it alive. Feeds Heath. Bounce pass. Okogie in traffic. Had it blocked by Jarquez Smith. Smith now with 11 blocks in ACC play. And at the offensive end, Jarquez Smith knocks down the jump shot.
And when you look at Florida State, they have 3 centers. And Jarquez Smith really more of a power forward throughout the majority of his career at Florida State, but plays the center position often at times now. And he's the finisher with the group. Michael Ojo, Chris Kumagi, both those guys play a lot of minutes. But Jarquez Smith is the finisher. When Coach Smith got down, he felt like he needed to go with Smith in the lineup early enough.
Quentin Stevens, here's Hayward. Fighting through traffic, a little shot fake, feeds Lammers, Ben up strong, and the second try fell off as well. Got knocked out, Stevens a 3. And it got tapped back in. It'll go to Okogie. We'll have to go to the videotape to make sure.
But we'll say that that's the first field goal that Dwayne Bacon has made tonight, because that was all baked.
Stevens couldn't steal the pass. And another look, please, Corey, before we check the scorebook.
And you see it come off the rim. There's no question in my mind. That's Dwayne Bacon with the soft touch at the wrong end. Josh Okogie, probably the easiest basket he's ever gotten.
So an own goal for Bacon.
Nothing worse than making a shot that you don't get credit for.
Well, and here is C.J. Walker, freshman from Indianapolis, who gave them some really valuable minutes on Saturday in the win against Louisville. And Okogie commits a foul as he was part of a double team on Brian Angola Rodos. So the first on Josh Okogie and the second on Georgia Tech.
And now when you look at the lineup for Florida State, this is their defensive lineup. When you look out there, this is the lineup that Leonard Hamilton trusts the most to go out and get stops. And the way that Georgia Tech started off, I'm sure that's the reason why we're seeing them this early in the game, because they need to get some stops and slow down this momentum of Georgia Tech.
What do we jokingly call it a couple of weeks ago? This is the penalty kill lineup, right? Angola, Rodas, and Walker and Forrest.
And they put a lot of pressure on you, especially on the defensive end of the floor.
Ball got deflected up off the glass, and Lammers comes away with it. Hayward. Georgia Tech by 10. Lammers at the high post. There's Angola, Rodas, and Heath trying to beat him off the dribble. Slips it to Todrick Jackson. Now he'll skip it across. Hayward a three. Only the 6th triple of the year for Corey Hayward. Nearly 7 minutes gone first half. Kofor. They whip it around to Walker baseline. Now Smith and a reach-in foul, I believe, on Corey Hayward. And it will be his first and the third on the Yellow Jackets here in the opening half.
But give Georgia Tech credit for the way that they've shared the basketball. Josh Heath getting inside. Todrick Jackson doesn't force anything, and more importantly, goes up on balance, finding Corey Hayward wide open to knock down the three.
Forrest. Smith. Long rebound for Jackson. Hayward again, Corey. Angola, Rodas, and Florida State without numbers. He traveled with it.
And honestly, what you've seen from Florida State, they're out of sorts, and they're used to being the team pushing the tempo. But the fact that Georgia Tech has 17 points already, Georgia Tech and Florida State has had to take the ball out of bounds the majority of the time because they haven't been able to get stops. And that's really where this team has been so effective this year, is what they've been able to do defensively. So Georgia Tech coming out, we talked about them having more energy, but right now they're executing much better on the offensive end of the floor as well.
7-4, Chris Kamaji's in the ball game for Florida State, as is the dangerous offensive weapon, P.J. Savoy. And also Justin Moore's out there for Josh Pastner's team for the first time. Here is Moore, and he traveled with it. So that will send it to the Noles, who trail by 13 early, but boy, the first-year head coach at Georgia Tech's got to love the energy at both ends of the floor.
Absolutely.
Forrest. Here is Savoy.
And one of the areas where Georgia Tech has been able to keep Florida State out of rhythm is Josh Pastner's been changing defenses constantly. Almost every time down the floor, you see Georgia Tech in a different defense. Kamaji's able to make the hook shot, but yet this Florida State team doesn't want to have to work 30 seconds to get a quality look. They want to get quick shots fast and be able to push the ball up and down the floor, and Georgia Tech is taking them out of that rhythm.
Kamaji fouled out in 12 minutes of action Saturday against Louisville, and Lammers missed the jumper over the big 7'4" sophomore Kamaji. 11-point lead. Forrest had it roll off the line for Lammers. Moore, who did not start tonight, coming off the bench for Josh Pastner. Lammers. They try to go to Hayward, stolen by Forrest. Stevens to beat, and Trent Forrest, a nice finish for Florida State.
And that's what this unit for Florida State does. They get into passing lanes, they create turnovers, get up and down the floor, and just make you uncomfortable.
Moore to the basket, draws the foul. Kamaji commits his first 7 now on the Noles court.
Trent Forrest, the freshman steal leader in the ACC, at it again, finishing on the break. However, Florida State.
By the official corporate champions of the ACC, Geico, New York Life, Food Lion, Toyota, and Bojangles.
And a quick look inside the Zelnak Basketball Center, which is adjacent to McCamish Pavilion here, and a Well, it doesn't take long to go down memory lane with the Jackets, and Florida State struggling from the floor here early, Corey.
And that's the reason why Georgia Tech has had so much success on their offensive end is simply because, one, they've been able to set their defense, and then Florida State not being able to get out and run up and down the floor, not getting the transition bucket. So give Georgia Tech a tremendous amount of credit for the way they've come out. They've been a good defensive team. Whoa.
Justin Moore struggles at the line. 17 of 37 is the freshman from San Diego.
I know I was running my mouth, but you need to warn me before something like that happens. You kind of caught me off guard. I mean, you need to tell me that he struggles at the line, so I know that before I see that.
I was on the way to telling you when he cut number 1 loose there.
And I was running my mouth, so that's kind of like, okay.
Savoy deep from the front. P.J. Savoy, an outstanding perimeter shooter for Leonard Hamilton's team. Jackson skips to Moore. Little hanging jumper. And Todrick Jackson the rebound, and Trent Forrest the foul. That'll be number 1 on Forrest, 8 on Florida State, 1-1 for Jackson. Time for tonight's Toyota trivia question, Corey. What is FSU's highest ever ranking in the Basketball Associated Press poll, and what year did they earn it? They're number 6 right now.
I do know this answer, but, you know, I want to make sure to give all our viewers a chance before I spoil it.
Todrick Jackson, his first point at the line.
And I'm proud of that because I normally don't know many of these trivia questions. They stump me most of the time.
Okay.
Pretty excited about the fact that I know the answer to this one.
10-point lead for the Jackets. Second one good. Jackson had just 3 points. He's only 5 of his last 13 from the floor coming in, but Georgia Tech's got an 11-point lead here.
And Wes, that's 6 second-chance points for Georgia Tech already off of 6 offensive rebounds. And that's an area for concern for Leonard Hamilton because his team is not used to giving up second-chance opportunities.
Walker had it poked away, but Michael Roberts, who works with Brian Dorsey and James Breeding, whistles a foul on Josh Heath. His first and 4th on Georgia Tech. Savoy. Another deep 3. Yes, sir.
And you cannot give P.J. Savoy any room.
Nope.
And there's never a time where you can think, oh, he's not going to shoot that. That's exactly when he shoots it. And more often than not, that shot is going through the rim.
It might be a good idea to meet him at the bus, don't you think?
Good defensive game plan, Wes.
19-11. One swing from Savoy cuts the lead down to 8. Moore. Pass to Lammers. He'll go strong and hammer it on Kamaji. My goodness. Now, I know he's 6'10", but he went for the full swing there.
Absolutely. And he did not miss.
It'll stay with Florida State after the big move from Big Ben.
Ben Lammers. And a great ball fake here just to get Kamaji to move enough to catch him off balance. And Kamaji cannot recover before he finds himself on the wrong side of a highlight.
That is 7-4, Chris Kamaji. My goodness. 10-point lead again for Georgia Tech. Brandon Allen's come on the floor now. So Florida State has played all 13 guys that are going to go tonight in the game's first nearly 11 minutes.
And that's why Brandon Allen's out there, because of this zone from Georgia Tech. And he is capable of knocking down shots.
Todrick Jackson a pull-up. And the rebound by Bacon.
And Todrick Jackson was feeling that one. Beautiful move. Unable to finish it, and maybe a little quicker than what Josh Pastner wanted.
And Bacon traveled on the secondary opportunity, so it will go back to Georgia Tech. Don't forget, this is game 1 of a doubleheader. We'll send you to Coral Gables at our conclusion tonight. BC and Miami. Eagles are 2-5 in the league. Jim Larinagas Hurricanes are 2-4. Interesting ball game tonight for really both schools, but maybe more so for the home team, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Miami in a scenario where they're right now finding themselves in the middle of the pack. As Okogie with another very crafty move to get to the free throw line. You mentioned Miami. They've had some very impressive wins and some really mind-boggling losses so far in ACC play. So, of course, our regards to our colleague and, of course, very good friend of both of ours, Jason Capel, and the whole Capel family. The news coming out today, of course, that Jeff Capel Sr. diagnosed this past summer with ALS. So our thoughts and prayers, of course, with Jeff Jr., of course, Mama Capel.
Absolutely.
Mama Capel, the most important of them all.
It's a piece that appeared online at the Players Tribune, and if you have not seen it, it's a remarkable read for you about the emotions and really the influence Jeff had on his two sons, who both played in the ACC, one at Duke and, of course, one at Carolina. Okogie hits both free throws. He's got 8. Georgia Tech's lead is 12. Allen. Skip for Rattan Mays. Now Koe for a 3. And slapped out by Allen and recovered to Bacon. Rattan Mays a nice move, but can't knock the jumper down. And Hayward the deflection, and now Okogie 1-on-2, lost it in transition. Pastner wanted a foul call, didn't get it, and A.D. Gay almost knocked it away. Bacon on the scoop, and Gay the rebound. Eight minutes to play first half. Georgia Tech has matched Florida State at both ends so far, Corey.
They have, and I'm trying to figure out if I'm more impressed with the offense of Georgia Tech or their defensive ability, what they've been able to do. You're talking about a team that averages well above 80 points a game in Florida State.
Here's Stevens for 3. Got him. Looked like it was a busted play, and it turns into Quentin Stevens' 29-3. Largest lead in the first half at 15 now. And Rattan Mays draws the foul from Heath.
Well, it's always best when a busted play ends up in the hands of a very good shooter, and that would be Quentin Stevens as he finds the range as the shot clock falls down.
ACC College Basketball is sponsored by Husqvarna. Performance, design, heritage. That's Husqvarna. Today's the day you save. Every day is Husqvarna Day. Visit Husqvarna.com for product details.
Well, just a 2-game card in the ACC tonight. Road teams have won 4 of the last 5 and 6 of the last 10, Corey, as we interplay this evening. But Georgia Tech looking to change that momentum.
And you don't expect it from Florida State. You know, Florida State going out and getting a win at Virginia early in the year, which, of course, is a tough place to play.
Right.
And which, when you see Florida State coming into this game, and we know what Georgia Tech has done here at home, but yet 26-11, this is a bit staggering right now, especially when you consider Florida State averages 81.1 points per game. Right now sitting on 11 with over half of this first half been played.
Angola Rodas missed the jump shot. Knowles are now 5 of 22 from the floor. Right around 23%. Look at this. Okogie off the nice pass from Lammers. 10 for Josh Okogie.
And honestly, right now, on the offensive end of the floor, Georgia Tech is just slicing Florida State apart in the half-court defense.
You see the note there a moment ago as the foul is called on Florida State. Leonard Hamilton's played 13 players and has 11 points. As Jarquez Smith draws his second, Corey.
I'm sure Leonard Hamilton is just as surprised as we are coming into this game and seeing his team right now under 7 minutes sitting on 11 points. And right now trying to make the decision as to whether or not he needs a defensive unit in there because they haven't been able to stop Georgia Tech, or if he's got to put his scorers in there. And you look at the free throw numbers, Josh Pastner has a rule of thumb that his team needs to make more free throws than the opposing team shoots. And that goal has definitely come into fruition here so far this evening.
Todrick Jackson, the junior from Tifton, Georgia. Georgia Tech is 75% at the free throw line in ACC play. They're 68-7 during the course of the entire regular season, which is 13th in the league. The 75-4 in ACC play is 5th. But if you start looking at Okogie, Stevens, Lammers, and Heath, those guys make up a good bit of that 75%. The rest of them, not so much.
All right. And I'm going to throw some more numbers at you. Yesterday, number 1, number 2, and number 4 lost. And we talked about Florida State in this number 6 ranking. And all of those 3 teams that lost on the road.
Yes, it did.
In conference play. So right now, I'm sure that's something that Coach Hamilton was telling his team about coming into this game, as we see Dwayne Bacon with the turnover, the travel. But I'm sure right now that's something on the mind of these Florida State Seminoles.
Stevens, the long lead for Lammers. And now back to the Atlanta senior, Quentin Stevens. Okogie against Angola Rodos. Back for Stevens, high arcing 3. The lead 20 as we approach 6 minutes to play first half.
And the Florida State bench right now is stunned by what we're seeing. And reason being, how does Quentin Stevens get that open?
Timeout, Leonard Hamilton. The home team has come out here at full tilt in this first half.
Georgia Tech operating so well on the offensive end of the floor. Okogie with the beautiful move, but you see no one even guarding Stevens. Quentin Stevens, such a great shooter. Someone should be there. And then off the turnover, Josh Okogie getting out and finishing on the break. Georgia Tech playing with tremendous confidence here on their home court.
Jonathan Isaac ran out of his shoe trying to get Okogie.
But Wes, if you looked at this game and you said one of these teams has lost 2 straight coming in, and one of these teams just went 5-1 versus ranked opponents, I don't think anyone would pick.
No, you're right.
The way that this is going, the momentum that Florida State's coming into this game, and I'm sure they've been drilled by Coach Hamilton, getting them to understand, guys, we're going on the road. It's the ACC. Understand it's not going to be an easy game. It almost looks as though the Seminoles took this game for granted. And one of my keys was for them to stay focused. And this has not been a focused effort so far for the Seminoles. 0 of their last 8 from the field.
Georgia Tech, the 14-0 run. The backcourt foul on Hayward, his second. He joins Heath with 2, and that's team foul number 6 on Georgia Tech. And the Noles have gone 4 minutes without a point.
And then you see Josh Pastner come out now with a 1-3-1 zone, and he continues to switch it up on his defensive end of the floor, and is throwing Florida State completely out of rhythm.
Rattan Mays. Kick for Isaac's 3. And Hayward the long rebound. Here's Lammers again up at the top. Now Okogie. Back for Lammers, who'll reverse it to the near side.
And Ben Lammers, of course, not like the traditional center. He doesn't play on the block. He continues to play at the high post, but you see his ability to be able to make plays off the dribble, to shoot the jumper. And he's had his way with, regardless of who Florida State has put at the center position to guard him, Ben Lammers has had his way with them here this evening.
They drew 2 early fouls on Ojo, and now has beat Kamaji to the rim and hit a jump shot that time over him. And scared Isaac off the baseline there.
And right now you see Florida State in a scenario where they're not really sure what shot they want to take, but they don't look confident at all on the offensive end of the floor.
First piece of real foul trouble for Josh Pastner. Corey Hayward's 3rd comes with 4:53 to play. And I say real foul trouble because, quite frankly, Georgia Tech's just not as deep as Florida State. Not many people are, but Georgia Tech very limited in terms of their bench depth.
Georgia Tech pretty much plays 8 players that Josh Pastner relies on. And, wow, I got to say the same thing. Rattan Mays, who's normally a reliable free throw shooter, went off glass.
Yep. Georgia Tech, 18 of their 35 from inside. Stevens. Here's Lammers again. Jackson spinning into traffic. Lammers, soft jumper. Off the front iron to Isaac.
You know, but Lammers playing at the high post and out on the perimeter, honestly, I believe is giving Florida State lots of problems because their 5 men aren't used to having to go out there and chase a player that can score as well as Lammers does on the perimeter.
Knocked out, and Savoy misses the jump shot, and Isaac controls it. Third try now for the Noles. 4 minutes to play first half. Georgia Tech by 2 dozen. Rattan Mays can't finish it. Knocked around, Hayward's got it. Playing with 3 fouls, he'll come front court. Stevens a catch and shoot. And Kamaji all alone for the rebound. Savoy lost it. Trying to get through a double team. Here's Moore. He's got Jackson with him. And a foul on Rattan Mays. Couple of free throws coming for Georgia Tech, but the Noles have been hit with some heavy punches by the Jackets in the opening half in Atlanta.
Seminoles here at McCamish Pavilion. Quentin Stevens coming up with the block early. Ben Lammers has had his way offensively, but defensively, he's been an even bigger force in the paint, stopping everything that Florida State has tried to do at the rim or on the exterior. Georgia Tech has had an answer on their defensive end of the floor. The Florida State coaches trying to find some way to get them off of this nine after missing their last 12 field goals.
6.5 minutes without a point for Leonard Hamilton's team. And here is Moore at the line for 2 shots. He is scoreless in this first half. The bounce and the drop for San Diego freshman Justin Moore. Florida State had 23 points in the first half at Virginia back on New Year's Eve. Second by Moore, no good. The rebound finally controlled by Isaac.
Well, Weston, you mentioned that game at Virginia. Florida State had 23 points in the first half. Dwayne Bacon had 26 points by himself in the second half. And right now, Florida State can't find anyone to make a shot. And that's really the biggest surprise. And when you think about this team coming in and you look at what they have, Leonard Hamilton all season long has been able to push buttons to find that right combination on the floor because he has so much depth. But there has not been a right combination thus far in this game for Florida State.
Moore tried to bounce it through, stepped out of bounds, and that'll turn it over to Florida State. So the Jackets give it back with 2:56 to play. And a 25-point lead. Lob, and Kamaji missed the dunk. Shows you what kind of half it's been for the Garnet and Gold. Heath. Up top, Stevens open. 3 ball. And A.D. Gay couldn't control it over the inline. It will go back to the Noles.
Substitution, number 1, Tadrick Jackson.
Right now for Florida State, 2.5 minutes remaining in this half. The first thing you want to see is the ball go through the basket somehow or another. I mean, right. Kamaji missing the alley-oop on the last possession. You know, when it rains, it pours. But Florida State has to find a way to get the ball to go through the basket, whether it's attack the rim and get fouled, get to the free throw line, or to be able to find a way to make a shot. And right now you've got P.J. Savoy, who's an unbelievable shooter, as we mentioned, and he's not even close on these misses.
15 straight. Jackson fights through. Here's Moore. He'll skip it. Okogie will step in for a 2 and hit. 14 for Okogie. He and Lammers have outscored Florida State, and Okogie almost blocked Forrest attempt, but a whistle and foul. The Noles are almost hit the 8-minute mark without a point as A.D. Gay commits his first, and that is 8 now on Georgia Tech. And Trent Forrest is a 67% free throw shooter, and he'll go to the line. And these are the second and third free throws of the night for Florida State.
And Wes, you said Lammers and Okogie have outscored Florida State. And people may think that they're meaning combined. Each one of them individually at that point had outscored Florida State.
Okogie
still has outscored Florida State, and, right. And Lammers is tied with, he has 12 points. Florida State has 12 points in this first half so far.
And Forrest hit them both. Their last field goal was a three-point shot by Savoy to make it 19-11 Georgia Tech. Okogie, spot up two, got that one.
How impressive has he been? And we talked about him in our open. Probably the most unheralded of all these great freshmen that we've seen in the ACC all season long. But yet his production has been like very few others. Okogie stepping up and knocking down the mid-range jumper from the exact same spot he did on the previous possession.
Yep.
2 back-to-back buckets for him.
Well, you mentioned the big game against Carolina. He had 38 against Tulane.
Yeah, and when you look at the numbers as to where he ranks through his first 19 games alongside some of the greats.
Look at this. Inside draws the foul. Missed the jumper, got the rebound from the 7-4 Kamaji, and then draws the foul.
But Wes, at the beginning of the game, we talked about the energy. And we saw early that Georgia Tech came out with more energy than Florida State. There are 5 Florida State players in the paint, yet the one white uniform, Josh Okogie, comes up with the offensive rebound and an opportunity to put more points on the board for Georgia Tech at the line.
97 seconds to play in the first half, and he missed the front end of the two-shot try. And here is Phil Cofer, the veteran who is from just south of Atlanta, into the ball game for Florida State. Second one ready. And good for Okogie. He is 5 of 7 at the line here in the first half.
Wes, I've had Florida State 5 times already this year.
Yeah.
I didn't think this was possible.
I didn't either.
In all honesty, I mean, just watching what has happened with them in this first half, and I'm sure Leonard Hamilton is even more shocked than I am because he's around his team on a daily basis. But I didn't think this was, and this is no slight to Georgia Tech. They played great. Yep. But I didn't think that Florida State honestly could play this bad in the half.
Walker, Allen, Cofer's got it. 15 to shoot, and did he throw it away? Yes. So it's off Florida State, and Georgia Tech has it with 1:20 to go.
And to put this in context, Georgia Tech has an opportunity right now to go down the floor and with a basket, a 30-point lead in the first half over the number 6 team in the country.
Moore turns it over. Here is Walker, and they can't even finish the layup there. Rebound Savoy, blocked and controlled. Lammers, and a foul called on Ben Lammers, and that'll be his second. 10 on Georgia Tech.
And this play has been a microcosm of what Florida State has dealt with the entire game. C.J. Walker missing the layup. 2 Florida State players coming together, unable to finish on the second chance points, and then on another offensive rebound, Ben Lammers blocking the shot. Fortunately, they're fouled, but P.J. Savoy, again, a great shooter, going to the free throw line and unable to make the free throw.
10 of 17 is Savoy at the line. Florida State in this first half is 2 for 5.
And Josh Pastner coaching them up over on the sideline. Savoy misses 2 free throws, and Josh Pastner just as passionate with a 28-point lead as he was at the beginning of the game.
Here is Moore. They took Lammers off the floor after the second foul. A.D. Gay's come back. Final minute of this opening half. A stunning development in Atlanta. Okogie on the drive. Allen defended it nicely for the Noles, and now Florida State trying to get a little momentum in the last 40 seconds. Walker threw it up, and Cofer breaks the field goal drought with his first basket. 41-15. And about a 5-second differential, shot clock to game clock to wind the half down. Moore. Flipped over the top. Here's Jackson. 7 to shoot now. Todrick trying to use the Stevens screen, and it got knocked away. And with 1 on the shot clock, last touch by Florida State. And Josh Pastner going to use the 32nd timeout he's afforded here with just 6.6 to play in the first half.
And one thing you have to give Georgia Tech credit for, or well, one of the many things you give them credit for, is not being content at all here in the first half. They got off to a great start, and they never got content and took their foot off the pedal. They continued to be aggressive the entire half and have an opportunity to be able to close it out here with a great finish. You look at Josh Okogie, 17 points for him in the first half compared to Florida State as a team with only 15 points, which is an amazing stat in itself. But Florida State with 15, when they average 81.1 per game,
right?
And that right there is staggering.
We knew Georgia Tech would play hard. They played hard all year long, maybe with the exception of 1 or 2 early games in Pastner's tenure here. That playing hard mentality has served them well here in the opening 20 minutes.
It absolutely has, and they played much harder than their opposing team so far in this first half. And I think Florida State just basically came in taking the team for granted. And you cannot do that in this league. The teams are too good.
Jackson, a catch and shoot 3. Hit the rim. Off with it comes Forrest from just beyond the midcourt stripe. And we have reached the half in Atlanta. Georgia Tech leads number 6 Florida State 41-15. After the opening 20 minutes, fewest points in the first half this year for Leonard Hamilton's team. 18-2 on the year, 6-1 in the ACC. Their only loss at Chapel Hill. They trail Georgia Tech by 26 at the break in Atlanta. Hardy's halftime report from McCamish Pavilion coming up next.
ACC College Basketball is sponsored by The Works Pegasus, your workspace. Any place, find it at your local Lowe's.
41-15 Georgia Tech, second half on the way next, but some impressive play, particularly in the half court by Georgia Tech in the opening 20.
Absolutely. It starts with Josh Okogie finding his way to the rim, and he's really been able to score in so many different areas in the mid-range and put so much pressure on the Florida State defense, and even finding Ben Lammers in the paint. And Lammers got the game started off by attacking the bigs of Florida State and finding his way to the rim. But on the other side of the floor for Florida State, they've had no success attacking the rim. I believe that Josh Pastner's defenses and switching the zones has confused the Seminoles in the first half. And then every time they've attacked the rim, they've had no success in there. Ben Lammers doing a great job on both ends of the floor.
Here's the note you mentioned going to break a moment ago. Only Jonathan Isaacs 2 points among the Florida State starters. And
when you look at that starting lineup, you've got 2 sophomores in Terrence Mann, Dwayne Bacon. You've got a junior in Rattan Mays, a 5th-year senior in Ojo, and then Isaac, a freshman. That should never be the case with this Florida State team. You got such a veteran group. They need to have come out with a much better approach to this game. And they didn't in the first half. I'm sure it will pick up here in the second.
Smith starts the second half for Ojo. Knowles with the basketball. Original guys out there for Georgia Tech. They open the half in the zone. Bacon baseline against Lammers. They slap it around, and out of there with it comes Okogie. He's got Hayward with him. Corey back for Stevens 3. All 9 of Quentin Stevens points from behind the three-point line.
And that's a very smart play by Corey Hayward. He knew he was not going to be able to finish over the trees in the paint, and did a great job maintaining his composure and finding Stevens on the perimeter.
Stolen by Okogie from Bacon. And Josh Okogie challenges Smith, who blocked it. Kick out from Isaac, and Bacon the 3. First basket of the ball game, first points of the game for Lakeland, Florida sophomore Dwayne Bacon.
And Dwayne Bacon averages 18 points per game in ACC play. And we mentioned earlier, he scored 26 points alone in the second half versus Virginia, so we know he can get hot. But this area then the floor right here, Florida State's going to have to get some stops to slow down this Georgia Tech team.
Lammers skips it across Stevens. Isaac out to find him. 10 to shoot for Georgia Tech. 5 for Heath. Around Rattan Mays, lost it, turned over to Florida State. Here's Terrence Mann on the run out and fouled by Okogie.
Great foul by the freshman. Terrence Mann getting out in transition, an opportunity to get a dunk and see the basketball go through the rim easily. Josh Okogie getting back in a great job with a good foul, and give Florida State credit defensively for coming up with the stop. A beautiful feed by Bacon. But that's a good foul from Josh Okogie, not allowing Terrence Mann to have that dunk.
First point of the night for Mann. Averages 10 points against the conference. Coming off 15 against Louisville. He's been double figures in 4 of his last 5. And both the free throws. 5 points already here in the opening minute. 32 for Florida State in half 2. Heath. Right into the paint area. Baseline Okogie. Stevens thought about it. Step back 3. Too strong. Okogie cleans it up inside and draws the foul from Jarquez Smith. That'll be his 3rd. Number 1.5 on Florida State. Corey, I guess you've got to be impressed with the patience Georgia Tech shows at the offensive end of the floor.
You really do, and their ball movement has been spectacular, and this is a team that's sharing the basketball extremely well. They've had their struggles scoring this year.
Right.
But they came out with so much confidence early in this game, especially for a team that's lost 2 in a row. But remember, they played their last 3 games on the road.
Yep.
I'm sure they're happy to be back home where they've been successful this year, knocking off North Carolina, beating Clemson here on their home court. And, you know, and they basically were able to thrive off that energy early in the game, and they haven't looked back.
Okogie's got 19. And the lead is 26.
It doesn't help to have a freshman that can go out and score the way that Okogie does.
Yep. Isaac quickly to Bacon. Rattan Mays. Baseline Isaac. And there'll be a foul called against Corey Hayward, and that's his 4th. 2nd on Georgia Tech, and that'll bring Todrick Jackson off Josh Pastner's bench. And while Hayward gives them some solid play at the defensive end of the floor, he's added a 3 in the first half. Little gravy scoring for Hayward. Now Rattan Mays got it in traffic, feeds Isaac for the dunk. 2nd field goal for Jonathan Isaac.
You see Florida State now going into that 1-2-1-1 press, trying to see if they can speed up Georgia Tech and get them to turn the basketball over a little bit. But I'm sure you're going to see the defensive intensity of the Seminoles pick up. It's up to Georgia Tech to handle it now.
Okogie got his 3 blocked by Smith. Knowles on the run out. Rattan Mays for Bacon. Spinning move man, and he'll feed Jarquez Smith for the dunk. That's the Florida State we've become accustomed to, Corey.
And we're seeing now just how dangerous they are. But the thing about it, they dug such a huge hole. How much energy will they have to expend just to even make this a respectable game?
3 minutes gone, 2nd half. Jackson. And now Heath with 15 to shoot.
But Wes, I will say this. If there's one team that is built to be able to expend that energy, it is a team that will play 12 to 13 players.
5 to shoot, Okogie. 2, 1. Tried to put it up, draws the foul. And he might have been behind the 3-point line. And it's Dwayne Bacon's 1st and the 2nd on Florida State. And Leonard Hamilton wants his players to calm down.
Well, Bacon was pretty demonstrative on that call. And I believe the officials are going to come over and see if he was behind the line. And you see Bacon reach in, and it's a very good call. He does have his hand on Okogie's arm as he's trying to finish a great trap. And right there, if you're Bacon, you got to just remain disciplined and not reach in on that shot.
You see 1 second left on the shot clock.
And I believe that will be a 3. Yeah, it's Okogie's behind the line. You see his feet behind the line. Bacon reaching in, smacking him on the arm. That's going to be 3 free throws. And as Florida State was starting to build a little momentum, you send Okogie back to the free throw line to shoot 3, and he can make this a 25-point lead once again.
You mentioned Leonard Hamilton. He's got veteran players. Who's he going to lean on here in this comeback attempt? Rattan Mays, a junior. Seen a lot of things happen in the ACC. Isaac, a tremendously gifted freshman.
Well, one thing that he did was make the change to put Jarquez Smith in the starting lineup for the 2nd half, recognizing how much success Ben Lammers was having on the offensive end of the floor playing at that high post. So I believe that's part of it. And with Smith, also being from Georgia, that means something. He can tell, hey, this is your last time playing in your home state. You better show up in the second half.
Don't forget ACC All Access, Thursday afternoons, 5:30 on your regional sports network. I'll get a chance to sit down and visit with Dwayne Bacon on this week's edition. Olivia Harlan hosts ACC All Access. All 5 of Okogie's second half points at the line. He's got 22. Lead is 25. Georgia Tech, who's already posted one of the biggest upsets in the ACC this year, bidding for another one tonight. Smith with the right hand. 6 for Jarquez Smith. And Jackets break the press. Here's Okogie front court.
And this is where it's important for Georgia Tech to handle the pressure and then get across half court and continue to run their offense and execute the way they did in the first half.
Okogie got caught in a double team. Lammers at 15 feet. 14 points for Ben Lammers. 4 minutes gone, second half. Isaac got it blocked, recovers, and stuffs it home. Stevens gets it inbounds, double team, right back to the Atlanta senior. Lammers to Okogie. Back for another Lammers jumper. And slapped away by Stevens. Bertan Mays saves it for Florida State. Knowles going to stop. Can they back it up with a basket, Corey?
And that's going to be the biggest question. And they need many baskets, and they need that young man, Dwayne Bacon, to step up and put some points on the board as he's able to knock down the 3.
7 straight possessions with points for Florida State now. They've cut it down to 20 with 5 minutes gone in the second half. Lammers working against Smith. Will be whistled for the travel. Timeout here. Florida State starting to show a little bit of the wares that have taken them to the number 6 spot in the country. Dwayne Bacon, a couple of big threes here in half 2. 26 at the break. It's now 20 with just better than 5 minutes gone second half. Our Toyota trivia question: what is Florida State's highest ever AP ranking, and what year did they earn it? The answer, number 2 in 1972 when they were coached by that man.
And I believe that was the Final Four year, wasn't it?
It was. Lost in the finals in Los Angeles to Bill Walton, a team that featured Ron King, Otto Petty, and Reggie Royal.
And Hugh Durham, of course, Florida State, Georgia, a number of stops.
Jacksonville.
Yeah. Number of stops, the legendary coach. Coming and watching the Knowles, I'm sure he was just as shocked as the rest of us watching that first half performance. But you see the energy that Florida State has come out here with the second half. They scored 16 points in the first 5 minutes and 4 seconds of the second half. They only scored 15 points in the entire first half.
Bertan Mays hanging runner, no good. Lammers the rebound. And shoots it out to Heath. Ben Lammers looks like he leaves nothing in the tank at the end of the night. Heath, backdoor Okogie. 24 for Josh Okogie.
Josh Pastner getting a bench warning.
Right.
And he's encouraging his team defensively, but he has to enjoy what they're doing offensively. It's Ben Lammers, and they set the fake screen, and you see they clear the backside, so there's no one to defend Okogie as he finishes at the rim.
Bacon the drive. Okogie the rebound. Heath tried to bounce it to Stevens, lost it, but it still ends up in Quentin's hands. That kind of night for Florida State, Corey.
It really has been, and now that they're playing with the energy that you would expect to see the Seminoles play with, they're still not coming up with the 50-50 balls, and it's not bouncing their way, even though Georgia Tech continues to execute on the offensive end of the floor.
Okogie, the scoop, foul. And this is number 4 on Jarquez Smith. And Leonard Hamilton going to get Trent Forrest ready.
And Leonard Hamilton actually going to go small and play Jonathan Isaac at the 5 position. But you see Josh Okogie, he attacks the rim strong. And when you attack that strong, it often hurts when you go to the ground.
Couple of free throws coming for Okogie.
Well, just when I thought Leonard Hamilton was going to go small, he brings Michael Ojo off the bench, and now we can't even see the action on the floor.
I was getting ready to say so much for your version of small. So Ojo in, Smith and Bacon out, Forrest we told you in. Okogie's got his first career double-double tonight. He's got 10 rebounds, 25, and make it 26 points.
And he could be, ooh, that could be tough. With the performance Okogie's putting together right now, and what Dennis Smith Jr. has already done this week, might be a tough decision trying to decide already between who would be the ACC Freshman of the Week.
Ojo fouled by Okogie. Michael is a much better free throw shooter this year than he's been at any point in his Florida State career.
But that's one Terrence Mann actually wanted Michael Ojo to just go catch the lob and dunk it in comparison to bringing it back down and allowing Georgia Tech to foul it.
Third on Okogie. This, to me, Leonard Hamilton's got a great staff. Stan Jones, Dennis Gates, Charlton Young. Stan Jones's work in the development of Michael Ojo, Corey, is one of the really remarkable stories in college basketball.
I agree, because when he walked on the campus at Florida State, he then was a mountain of a man. He's only gotten bigger, and that's by adding muscle since then. But his skill has grown by leaps and bounds. Of course, you see him getting to the free throw line, a 75% free throw shooter, now reliable when he gets to the line. But more importantly, he actually catches the basketball. That was a struggle when he was a freshman at Florida State.
Couple of free throws. You got a quick look at the veteran aide for Leonard Hamilton, Stan Jones. Ojo hit both the free throws. Still a 22-point advantage for Georgia Tech. Jackson, and now Moore, who's in the ball game. Here's Heath.
This is Florida State actually going to a bit of a zone on the defensive end of the floor with the way that Georgia Tech has had success on the offensive end.
Stevens a 2, high arcing shot. Long rebound Heath, and knocked away on a foul called, I believe, on Rattan Mays.
And that's been another area of concern. Georgia Tech coming up with offensive rebounds, and they right now lead 9-4 in second chance points, and that's been another area where they've just been faster to the basketball and pursuing it at a much greater rate than Florida State has.
Spot throw in on the baseline for Jackson. And it's Moore. Now the Noles have swapped up, and a turnover on Moore. Justin wanted to go one way, declared his pivot foot, moved the other one, and then reset on the pivot foot, and that's a trap. Unforced error on the Jackets. Just better than 7 minutes gone. Forrest into the lane. Lammers tried to keep it alive. Jackson out of there with it.
And give Ben Lammers credit once again for altering that shot. Didn't get a shot blocked, but he knocks Trent Forrest off the line that he wants to go on.
Stevens drew the contact, scored the goal on Ojo.
And Quentin Stevens has grown so much in his role at Georgia Tech. If we think back to a year ago, he was a 3-man that everything relied on whether he made shots or not.
Lammers blocks the man shot. Eight minutes gone, second half. The lead is still 24, and there's a foul on Terrence Mann. That's his third, and 5 now on Florida State. The Noles sent Georgia Tech to the free throw line a bunch in the first half. 17 of 25 in the ball game. They were 10 of 18 in the first half. Lammers. And Isaac the rebound of the missed jump shot. Rattan Mays in overdrive. Lost it. And last touch by Florida State. It'll belong to Georgia Tech. Quentin Stevens, one of Josh Pastner's veteran players, has got 11 tonight in Atlanta. For 6 Florida State, 33 under 12 to go, and Josh Okogie is our Bass Pro Shops in the net tonight, Corey.
And I think it's safe to say that Josh Okogie loves the big stage. 26 points in his ACC debut versus North Carolina, and here against Florida State, the number 6 ranked team nationally, already 26 points, 10 rebounds, and continues to stay aggressive. The one time he actually gets an opportunity to take a breather right now, having a seat on the bench.
First career double-double. Ben Lammers has 9 double-doubles to lead the Jackets this year. Backcourt pressure by Florida State. And Justin Moore back for Stevens. Terrence Mann trailing him defensively. Stevens caught in a double team. Forrest there and turned over. And a foul on Moore. Contesting the loose ball, his second and 4 now on the Jackets.
Yeah, but again, and I'm not even sure if he was trying to foul, he was going after the basketball. A very good foul by Justin Moore. Simply because what he doesn't allow is Trent Forrest to get out and get an easy dunk or easy basket and allow Florida State to set up their pressure defense.
How many times we hear coaches talk about the live ball turnover, right?
Absolutely.
Rattan Mays feeds Terrence Mann. Now Big Ojo in the foul. Justin Moore, wrong place, wrong time for the Yellow Jackets.
And I wonder if Michael Ojo even felt that foul. When you see, and Terrence Mann does a great job getting in the paint, finding Ojo, I'm not sure if Ojo even felt that one.
Yep. 5 on Georgia Tech, 3rd on the San Diego freshman, and Michael Ojo's got 4 all here in the second half.
And the pace is picked up, the energy level has picked up for both teams, and you look up at the clock, and it's still a 22-point lead for Georgia Tech. With 11:16 remaining, now down to 21. But this is the point to where the clock is no longer your friend if you're Florida State. Trying to make up a 20-point lead is extremely difficult to do. Here's Jack, 11 minutes.
Jackson, the runner, and the rebound by Florida State.
Shot a little force right there, and once you get across that pressure, you got to score or bring it out and run your offense, because when you give Florida State these opportunities, Bacon now with his 3rd three-pointer here in the second half, you give them chances to cut into that lead.
Now down to 18 with under 11 to play. Florida State trying to double up Georgia Tech defensively after the Jackets have done a pretty good job handling the pressure for the most part.
They have, with Todrick Jackson getting a little sped up on that last possession.
Lammers layup. Nice pass by Heath, Corey. 20-point lead again. Bacon another triple. And the long rebound of a miss for Heath. Okogie. Bounce pass, Jackson.
You see Josh Pastner holding up signs. That's how he's switching his defenses. And being able to do it on the fly by holding up signs to alert his team to exactly what defense they're in.
Rattan Mays, a deep 3, his first field goal of the game. Cuts it back to 19. And Okogie will leave it for Heath.
And now this is what you have to do if you're Georgia Tech at this point. You don't want to be passive, but you want to be smart about how you use your offensive possessions and run some time off the clock.
Heath jumper, Lammers the rebound. He's got a double-double now.
And another offensive rebound, you can bring it out and run more time.
And Okogie the runner.
Or if you're Josh Okogie, you just stay hot and continue to put points on the board.
28 points for Okogie. Forrest. Rattan Mays the miss. Lammers kept it alive. The interesting part about this is the minute they get the rebound of a missed shot, the game slows completely.
And it should, because Georgia Tech doesn't need to be in a rush at any point, because Florida State really hasn't been able to guard them in the half court, so they can execute their half court offense and still get a quality shot at the end of the shot clock.
Lammers with 4. Backs down, had it blocked. Crowd wanted a foul, nothing coming from it. Here's Bacon, a spot up 3. Recovered Forrest and 1. Foul will be on Heath. It'll be his 3rd. 6 on Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech does a great job running down the shot clock, but give Michael Ojo credit coming in with the big block, allowing Florida State to get out in transition. And although Bacon misses the shot, Trent Forrest, Johnny on the spot, picks it up, gets fouled, finishes, and an opportunity for a three-point play.
Timeout on the floor. 19-point lead for Georgia Tech. And the Eagles. Be hard to top what we've seen here in the first 32 minutes of play, though, Corey.
And I believe we're going to have a very interesting 8:36 remaining in this one. But like I say, again, you give Georgia Tech credit. They have maintained this lead, and Florida State's energy and effort has been much better in the second half. But you can't dig a 28-point hole for yourself and expect for it to be easy to come back from.
So Forrest, the free throw. And it's an 18-point game.
And again, right now for Georgia Tech, the clock is your ally. Execute your offense, because it's been a struggle for Georgia Tech, for Florida State to guard them the entire game in their half court.
Stevens with 8 to shoot. Jackson, 5 on the shot clock. Double clutch, threw it away. Live ball turnover. Here go the Noles on the run. Forrest threw it up high, and last touch by Florida State, says Brian Dorsey.
And Georgia Tech dodged a bullet there. The live ball turnover, as you mentioned. And Trent Forrest unable to finish. You know, one thing we haven't seen the deep bench from Leonard Hamilton here in the second half.
Yep. No Savoy, no Walker.
And Rattan Mays, I believe, has played the entire second half, as well as Terrence Mann to this point.
Yep. Kofor on the floor now. First time we've seen him second half. Here is Heath. Now for Lammers, squaring inside against Forrest, flips to Okogie. First 3 of the night for Okogie. Got 31 now, Corey. Rattan Mays tries to answer. Cannot. The lead 21, and Heath in a full head of steam. And Stevens follows. Bacon the scoop and score. 10 all in the, or 11 now, all in the second half for Dwayne Bacon.
But under 7 minutes at this point, it's about getting stops for Florida State. And right now, Georgia Tech playing with a tremendous amount of confidence on the offensive end.
Knocked out. Rattan Mays recovers and gets the roll. And a Leonard Hamilton timeout. Josh Okogie leading the Jackets. Gets an assist from Ben Lammers. He's got 31. And then a moment ago, Big Tex on the back end of the lob.
Georgia Tech still holds a 21-point lead over Florida State. And there's a fine line, Wes, between being passive and overly aggressive against the press. And this time, the Yellow Jackets did it just right. That's textbook execution against the pressure of Florida State.
Here's our Nissan game summary. The field goal shooting percentage for Florida State still bewildering for a team coming in. #1 in the ACC at almost 50% from the floor. Meanwhile, Georgia Tech's paint points, that's probably one of the more surprising stats of the night.
It is, especially when you consider the fact that they keep Ben Lammers at the high post a majority of the game, and he's really just picking guys apart. And they run their offense through him. He gets his hands on the basketball so much. And, of course, Josh Okogie has been extra special here this evening.
The perimeter stopper, C.J. Walker's on the floor for Florida State. First time we've seen him. Kofor out there, Isaac, Bacon, and Forrest. Here is Stevens. Double team coming. Got to get rid of it. Quentin skips it out for Hayward. Remember, he's playing with 4 fouls. 6 to shoot. Corey with 3. Tried to scoop it up. Lost it over the end line. 1 on the shot clock for the Jackets. Dennis Gates up near our courtside location here shouting the defensive instructions to the Noles on Leonard Hamilton's staff. And it's scored. Well, before they award it, Heath got the basket. The call on the floor is the basket is good. And they're allowed to come over and check the monitor here.
And right now, you should be, as a team, if you're Florida State, especially over with your coaches.
No basket for Heath. Nice piece of officiating by Mike Roberts and James Breeding, Corey. Make the call on the floor and then come double check.
I agree, and that's one of the great rules I think NCAA put into college basketball to allow you to do that. Of course, 2 points is important in any game, but right now for Florida State, as they're trying to make a comeback, that 2 points could have been very costly.
Isaac. Here's Bacon, another deep three. And Cofer the rebound, and a whistle and a foul. Phil went back up with it, but that was post whistle. And a little frustration maybe on behalf of the Noles.
You hear the adage all the time, you keep playing until you hear a whistle. Well, apparently neither one of those guys heard a whistle. A whistle was blown, they just didn't hear it.
Third on Lammers, 7 on Georgia Tech. So a couple of free throws for Phil Cofer at the 5:46 mark. Cofer on the year just 7 of 13 at the line. Florida State tonight 8 of 13 after the miss there. And Bacon got the offensive rebound. Forrest feeds Cofer, stripped of it, Okogie.
You know, Josh Okogie's 31 points and however many rebounds he ends up with, and probably many more points, will show up in the stat sheet, but it won't show the number of strips around the basket he's had and how much pressures he's put defensively on Florida State, even off of an offensive rebound. And you see Phil Cofer thinking as though he has what should be an easy bucket, and Josh Okogie doing a great job getting his hands in and coming up with another defensive stop for the Georgia Tech Ramblin' Wreck.
Just his third miss at the line tonight. So 31 points, 12 of 15 at the line. And knocks that down for his 32nd point.
But 16 free throw attempts says pretty much everything you need to know about Josh Okogie, meaning that he's aggressive at all times.
Cofer to the basket. And knocked out of there, and last touch by Georgia Tech. Phil Cofer playing really tough now at both ends of the floor for Coach Hamilton.
You know, but Phil Cofer, and for as good as he is, he's not the best offensive threat in there at the time. And not only that, you mentioned the fact that you're going up against a young man who happens to be third nationally in block shots in Ben Lammers, and Lammers finishes another defensive possession for Georgia Tech.
Lead is 22 as we approach 5 minutes to play. Georgia Tech has led all the way tonight. Lammers squares. And kept alive Okogie, but controlled by Walker. Bacon. All the way through, and a foul on Lammers will be his fourth with 4:41 to play. 8th foul on Josh Pastner's team here in the second half, and you see A.D. Gay off the bench for the Yellow Jackets as Bacon will go to the line. And don't forget another edition of ACC All Access coming your way Thursday afternoon, 5:30 on most of your regional sports networks. And Dwayne Bacon, the guy at the line, will be in our ACC profile. Olivia Harlan hosts Thursdays at 5:30. Lammers is out, Gay is in, and P.J. Savoy has checked in. A little instant offense maybe for Leonard Hamilton.
And they need it. 4:40 remaining in this game, and you're still trailing by 21 points.
And last touch by Bacon. Corey almost had to go back to his recovery days of the loose change in the ACC.
Yeah, that's my boy. That's an Oak Hill guy right there. So,
Bacon, right.
I would have tried to catch him. And I love most of these guys in the ACC. But there's very few of them I'm going to stay in here and take that charge for.
I was thinking more about the basketball than the player.
No. My hands were only up if there was a player coming my way.
If the player comes this way, Durham is moving.
If I get my hands on the ball, I'm shooting.
I understand that. And you got the stats to prove it. In the corner, Heath, 7 to shoot. Josh, a little scoop, can't finish. Gay, the rebound. AD back up, blocked by Isaac. Out of bounds, last touch, Georgia Tech, says Brian Dorsey.
And Josh Pastner getting his team back on defense. He's not concerned about the ball going out of bounds. And a great job right there by Jonathan Isaac coming up with the block shot. But Gay's hand is actually on it last.
Savoy from man. Out front, Walker, the lefty three. Okogie, another rebound. Under 4 to go. Georgia Tech's lead is 21. Working against Walker is Heath. Gay will square against Isaac. Right hand jump hook is good. Walker fights through. Blocked by Gay, recovered Stevens. Hayward. Okogie spots. Knocked out. And a fresh 30 for Georgia Tech. Knocked out of bounds. Last touch by the Noles. Number 6 trails by 23. Abdoulaye Gay banks it in. Shot blocker. Dikembe Mutombo. And James Forrest, the great Yellow Jacket MVP of the '93 ACC tournament, looking on here at McCamish Pavilion. Ben Lammers is right up Mutombo's alley, isn't he?
How about that combination? 50 points, 24 rebounds combined. And they started the game off for Georgia Tech, and they have not slowed down at all the entire game. Both those guys have played with tremendous energy and passion here, and I'm so happy to get back on their home court after that 3-game stretch.
Got to get it in bounds. Stevens is going to punch a timeout because Florida State was switching out of the timeout. 30-second timeout for Josh Pastner. Well, Florida State is here tonight after going 5-1 against 6 ranked teams. Corey, it was a remarkable run by Leonard Hamilton's team.
It was, and which makes this game even more surprising when you look at the teams that they were able to beat and the manner as to which they were able to beat some of those teams, and not pictured a win against Virginia Tech when they were a ranked team, and the loss at North Carolina. When you think about coming in with so much confidence after completing that stretch, was tied a record in the ACC for the most longest stretch versus ranked opponents.
Yep.
In the first half, 17.1% shooting, 9% from the three-point line, and 2 for 6, 33% from the free throw line did them in. The energy was better in the second half, but give Georgia Tech credit for being able to stem the tide.
Well, Tan Mays trying to hurry Heath. Backdoor pass, layup. Okogie in a foul. .34 now for Josh Okogie.
And it's not the first time we've seen this play. Josh Pastner called it out of a timeout when Florida State was making a run early in this game. Goes right back to it. And with an even better result, the first time it was an uncontested dunk from Okogie. This time it ends up in a three-point play.
He is now 14 of 17 at the line, 10 of 17 from the floor for his 35 points. 26-point lead with almost 2.5 to go. Angola Rodas for Savoy's triple, and it's good. P.J. Savoy. Both of his field goals are threes. There's Hayward. Heath ahead for Okogie. Skip pass, Stevens. A.D. Gay the rebound. And Hayward and Georgia Tech a fresh 30.
Wes, I know the week's not over. We have weekend games to be played.
Right.
But as of right now, whose freshman week thus far has been more impressive, Okogie or Dennis Smith Jr.?
Wow. Well, Dennis Smith had 32 Monday night, right?
Had 32 Monday night, and with a great floor game as well.
Air ball from Isaac. By the way, as impressive as his 32 was, the most impressive 2 didn't count at the end.
But it would have won a dunk contest, no question about it. But Okogie with the double-double
against arguably one of the best defensive teams in the ACC.
Yeah. You know, Dennis Smith was able to do it on the road. Okogie does that home. Well, one thing is for certain. Forget what they do this weekend. The 2 of them combined will be ACC co-rookies of the week. But now you've got to ask, who's going to beat one of those 2 guys out for ACC Player of the Week after the performances that they both had?
Hayward will go to the line here, 1-1. Corey is 10 of 15 at the line this year. Kamaji for Terrence Mann here in the final 150. And now C.J. Walker will come back as well for Florida State. As much as you talk about what Florida State has done in their last 6, Georgia Tech's going to be 12-8 and 4-4 in the ACC. Hayward missed the front end of the 1-1.
And Josh Pastner made it clear when he got the job, the expectations were not even for him to win one ACC game this year.
And Okogie commits the foul. Angola Rodas the drive and hoop. He's now got wins over top 10 North Carolina, and he's 143 away from a top 10 win over Florida State on his home floor in his first year. When he tells the story that Mike Bobinski, the athletic director who's now at Purdue, hired him last April here to Georgia Tech, he said, "Are you prepared to not win a game in the ACC next year?"
I don't believe anyone can be prepared for that. And Josh Pastner, he and his staff tremendous credit for what they've been able to do with this group. And, you know, also Brian Gregory deserves some credit because, again, Brian Gregory recruited Josh Okogie.
Yep.
So that part of it, and then he developed Ben Lambert. So, you know, give Brian Gregory and his staff some credit for this. But Josh Pastner has brought a new life in, and more importantly, a new offensive system that has freed up these players to be successful.
Lammer's foul line jumper recovered by Savoy with 70 seconds to go in Atlanta. Walker and recovered Hayward, and a foul on Kamaji. Corey, Georgia Tech at 4-4. Florida State, by the way, is at Syracuse on Saturday. And it's been since the year after they played UConn for the national title that Georgia Tech's beaten 2 top 10 teams in the same season.
And I tell you, Charlton Young, CY, we talked about him earlier, assistant coach for Florida State, was on the staff at Georgia Tech then.
Yep.
And I'm sure coming back into this building today, he is one of the many people that is surprised with the outcome that he's seen from his team. And Florida State actually scoring 56 points right now. They scored 60 versus Virginia in a win on the road. But I believe that has to be their lowest output of the year. We're talking about a team that was averaging close to 90 points per game coming into conference play.
Yep. They had 67 in a win against George Washington. That's their lowest output. 56 now with 39 seconds left, and Okogie with 10 on the shot clock.
Oh, and for the record, Georgia Tech will remain still undefeated when they score 70 or more points. And that's really been the kicker for Josh Pastner's team this year. It's simply about when they can score points, they win games because defensively they have been special.
Corey, they have a 14-rebound advantage tonight on Florida State.
I'm sure we could go through so many different numbers that are surprising in this game. None more than 78-56 with 34.3 seconds left. But there's been so many things that have gone on in this game. And just give, you know, you have to honestly just give the credit to Georgia Tech. Florida State did not play well, but what Georgia Tech did is extremely impressive.
Teldan Price and air ball. Don't forget BC Miami waiting in the wings. Tom Wormy and Jason Capel standing by in Coral Gables tonight. Another big game in the ACC. Tomorrow night, Virginia Tech is in Chapel Hill to meet number 9 North Carolina. And here's the final 20 seconds, and Florida State will dribble this out. And Georgia Tech, who on New Year's Eve upset North Carolina to start their ACC season, has taken out another top 10 team tonight. The Yellow Jackets go wire to wire tonight in beating Florida State by 22, Corey.
And again, hey, give all the credit to Georgia Tech. They came in. The first half, they had the most energy, and they were passionate coming out, back, fortunate to be back on their own home court. And they showed they wanted this game more, and that's where the game was won.
Josh Okogie finishes with 35 points, 14 rebounds. For our producer, Alex Farmatino, our director, Mike Miller, our great crew, and Corey Alexander. Wes Durham, thanks for watching ACC Hoops from Atlanta. Off to Coral